Today's episode is brought to you by Destiny's Accessories, located inside of A.V. Lopez at 3831 Boca Chica Boulevard in Brownsville. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 4. Destiny Accessories has all the phone and tablet accessories you need, including chargers, screen protectors, wallets, clips, holsters, pop sockets, cases, and much more. Welcome to Paranormal 956. My name is David, and as always, I am here with Bianca.
Hi, guys.
What are we talking about today, Bianca?
Some happy faces. What was it?
The Happy Face Killer.
Oh, shit.
So this is Keith Jesperson.
Okay.
And the reason we're talking about this is actually there's a connection to the valley.
What?
Yep. So Keith Hunter Jesperson.
What is he? A serial killer?
Serial killer has killed several women, at least 8. And one of them, we know now, is yet unidentified, but we know that she is from the valley.
She got 956 in her.
Yes, yes. And the way they described her wasn't particularly helpful to me anyway, because it kind of sounded like every woman that lives down here. But hopefully we can help find this young lady and her identity and put her...
Or some extra information, I guess.
Right.
Anything helpful.
What we know seems like we should be able to find out more. Let's say it that way.
Okay.
Because we're going to get into it.
Okay.
This is Keith Jesperson.
So how did we find out about him?
So he was eventually caught.
Uh-huh.
This particular gentleman is a very large person. 6'8", I think, something like that. 6'6".
6'8", yeah.
And so he's a gigantic man. And so we're going to start back in his childhood. This is, I think, our first Aries serial killer that we've covered.
Oh, born April 6th?
Yeah, April 6th, 1955. So
you see, it's like April Aries, the ones with issues.
Oh, see, that's like an attack. Because I am an April's Aries.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy...
What's your birthday? It's almost around the corner.
My birthday's right around the
Right
corner.
around the corner.
You know what's funny is we're recording this way in advance, but it's going to be released when my birthday's not too far. But I always say my birthday's right around the corner. I say it the day after my birthday. I say
all year round.
My birthday's always right around the corner.
Yeah. So anyways.
So this is how this starts, right? This young man, or when he was a young man, I should say.
Right.
Was very large in his family and was immediately the black sheep. So his father kind of had a backwards view on the world. He didn't value college, profession, education. He kind of valued violence, right?
Well, keep in mind, this is what, like 1970s?
Right, even younger, so 1960s too, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of things were backwards back then. So there is a particular scene when he's young where there is a cat that's on the property that's not supposed to be.
Okay.
And Keith kills this cat with his bare hands.
Oh.
And his dad is so proud of him for doing this. And so keep in mind that he's kind of out of...
Cats come and go around the neighborhood all the time.
Right. His dad was proud of the violence that he showed. So this kid is just different, right? So imagine like we're all like normal size. I'm kind of big, but I'm not 6'6", 6'8", right? I'm 6 foot.
Right.
This kid is just abnormally gigantic.
Uh-huh.
And he just can't for the life of him get kind of any favorable reaction from his dad until he kills this cat. And so now he starts killing animals and torturing animals. Like he starts the telltale signs of like a serial killer, right?
How they start. Yeah.
Right. Now we know this. I guess back then they didn't know this, but that's how he starts. Mm-hmm. So fast forward to where I'm not sure how old he was at the time, but it was like in 1990, I mean. So he's up in age a little bit.
Right.
He meets this woman in a bar. She is a special needs person, but let's say highly functional.
Wait. How much of a special needs?
So I would say slightly. So
not noticeable, you would say?
Slightly noticeable. So I'm going to describe you because we know this person, right? So
yeah.
We've have a little bit of a history about this person. She did have a job. Mm-hmm. She hung out at bars.
Okay.
Right. But one of the kind of quirky things about her is she had a Walkman and would listen to Madonna, the cassettes.
Yeah.
Over and over. Right. And so he meets her in a bar and starts talking to her. Apparently she's a very friendly woman, right? Everybody says this, that she's super friendly.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, can I take you out to dinner? Do you want to go to dinner? And she's like, yeah, sure. Right. He checks his wallet. He doesn't have any money in his wallet.
Aww.
Yeah. So he says, why don't we go to my house where I have my money? I can pick up my money and then I can take you out. And she's like, okay, fine. So he takes her to her house and he starts kissing on her.
Right.
And she seems receptive.
Right.
So he keeps going. Right.
Okay.
Things start to escalate. Things start to get a little sexual.
Okay.
And in the middle of them having sex, she says, I'm not going to get there.
Huh?
So if you could just hurry up so we can go eat. And that just sends him in a rage. So he punches her in the face, knocks her out, gets his gigantic fist, which is said to be like 3 times bigger than everybody else, and just crushes her throat and kills her while he's having sex with her. So that's the first murder of his.
What?
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So this little...
I didn't know you could kill someone from punching their throat.
Well, he would break their esophagus and they would basically bleed in their throat. So
there's no air vent.
Right.
Okay.
So that's how he would kill people, with his fist in their throat.
It's kind of like smart though. I mean, like, not gonna lie, she was a bitch, right? Like she I'm not gonna say she deserved it, but like I'm saying, like she went out of line with that line. I mean,
because if I had a nickel.
Oh fuck!
No, okay, I'm not gonna get into that. But wait. Let's just say that is a common scenario. After a certain age, women just like, let's just go to dinner. Like, do what you got to do. Let's go to dinner. Right. So.
Right.
So.
I'm speechless, but like,
yeah. I'm trying to move on.
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay. So from this murder.
That's the first thing.
Yeah. So.
Like, well, not counting the animals, right? But
right. Across the street, there is a woman a little bit older woman. I think she was like in her 50s-ish.
Okay.
Dating a much younger man. 20, 30, something like that. I don't remember exactly. And he's beating her.
Okay.
And she wants to get out of this relationship.
Right.
And so she calls the police and says, you know that lady that got murdered? My boyfriend did it.
Oh, wow.
So the police go in and they start interviewing her. Mm-hmm. And she kind of doesn't like that all they want to talk about is the boyfriend.
True.
So she starts kind of squeezing her name in there, that she was a little part of it too.
Right.
She had a little bit to do with this murder too. Right? Because she's like,
she had my money.
She's liking this attention. Right? So they go to court.
Right.
And the innocent boyfriend who beats his wife. I mean, his girlfriend. So it's not like innocent. Like she's not like a priest or anything or Boy Scout or anything.
Right.
Not a great guy. Beats his girlfriend and her are getting charged with murder of this woman that they definitely didn't kill.
But
Jesperson is an avid newspaper reader. Sees that these people are getting charged
for
and
that
going
murder.
to court, and he's not happy about it.
Of course not.
So he's a truck driver,
Yeah.
and when he stops back home and he's at a truck stop, he writes on the wall in the bathroom,
I did it.
I did it. These people didn't kill him. It was me. And he puts a little happy face, right? So the judge, I mean, the lawyer
Yeah.
for this couple says, well, look, somebody confessed to the crime.
Yeah.
We can't charge these guys with murder.
Chill.
Right?
Yeah.
And the judge goes, anybody could have wrote that. You could have gone to the truck stop and you could have wrote it. That's not
Right.
anything to me. Throws them in jail. They get convicted of murder for this woman
Yeah.
that they didn't kill.
But
The guy gets life in prison. The woman, as an accessory, gets like 12 years in prison.
still 12 years for just talking shit.
Yeah, she made it all up. She made it all up. And so then later, of course, she's like, oh, I didn't do it. And they're like, yeah, no, you did it. You told us you did
You
it.
already told us.
You told us you did it, right? Confession puts you away. Jesperson does not like this.
She could have just said allegedly.
Right. Made a podcast.
That was it.
Yeah. If she wanted attention, there's OnlyFans.
True.
Right?
And money.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So Jesperson's, during this, he's still murdering people.
Mm-hmm.
And so he decides, these people get sentenced, they go away. And everybody's like, there's that one case solved, and he's not happy. Like, hey, I'm the one who killed her, and I'm not getting any credit.
I want my recognition, like how my dad applauded me for killing a cat.
Right, right. So he writes a letter to the courthouse where they just got sentenced.
Oh, jeez.
And to the police. Or, I mean, to the newspaper. And he signs it with a happy face at the beginning and a happy face at the end. And he says all the details
of how it happened.
And then the other murders that he's done.
Oh.
Right?
So at the time, they didn't even know that the murders were connected.
They didn't know they were connected.
Ah, shit.
And so now all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, this sounds pretty legit. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember how he got caught. Oh, yeah. Stupid. Stupid. So
April Aries.
Yeah. Oh, attack. So this is what happens. His girlfriend sells a car, and in the contract, there has to be a witness. Jesperson signs his name as the witness.
Okay.
So then they go home, and the girlfriend's mad that he signed as a witness. Because she's like, I wanted to screw that girl over, and you're not helping me screw her over, blah, 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 right?
Right.
So she's being a bitch, so he kills her. Right? So we're going to step aside a little bit. So I got an extra sound box for Bianca to be able to chime in.
Yeah.
So that was her. That was not me. Back to the show. Okay. So people find the girlfriend's dead. Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're like, you have any idea who could have murdered her? And all her friends are like, yeah, Jesperson did it.
Yeah.
He's the dude. That's
Shit,
the guy.
who else?
Yeah, he's the dude. And they're like, well, you have any reason? And they tell the whole story. Everybody knows. And so he gets caught. And so he goes to jail. And he's like, finally, you guys caught me. Like,
I guess.
And so they first interview him. Right. And he's like, they go, so, hey, did you kill your girlfriend? And he goes, no. Okay, so free to go.
And that was it.
Yeah. So he's driving all over the country. He's 1,000 miles away. And I've heard this recording, right? I should have gotten it so that we could play it on the show. But
you can put it on Facebook.
He calls back and basically leaves a voicemail. And he's a real soft-spoken guy, so it's very strange because he's a gigantic man.
Yeah.
But he talks. And this is the call. I'm gonna do a reenactment, right?
I'll put this on.
Yeah, not good. So he goes, yeah. So.
Oh, wait.
Oh yeah. So I'd like to talk to
caller number 1.
Yeah. I'd like to talk to the police. Y'all had asked me if I had killed my girlfriend. And I said no, but you guys are right. I killed her. Give me a call. I'll be back in town in a few days. Thanks. Bye. Like, that's how he calls.
That's it.
Just like that. And so the cops get there like, what the fuck is that? Right? So they call him back.
Yeah.
And so they're like,
oh.
Like, yeah, Keith, we wanted to talk to you about that call that you made. And he's like, yeah, I called you guys. Thanks for calling me back. And like, what were you saying? He's like, yeah, so, you guys had kind of accused me of killing that girl, my girlfriend. Yeah? I didn't. And well, what, do you want to tell us what happened? Well, she got me mad, and you know how things happen. Like, I just killed her and punched her in the neck. And like, well, do you mind, like, can we meet you, like, in Albuquerque, and maybe you could turn yourself in? Yeah, that'll be great. I'll be there, like, in 6 hours. Great. See you soon. And that's how it ended, right?
That's it.
And so he shows up, and so then they start interviewing him, and some of the people that he murdered were either sex workers or, let's just say, the police described them as in illegal businesses. And so to me, that can only mean two things. They're sex workers or drug dealers.
Right.
And so for some reason, they don't want to specify. I don't know why. And so he doesn't know who these people are because they're kind of people under the radar anyway.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they ended up, because of the details, figuring out who a lot of these people are. Now, before we get to the Brownsville or the Cameron County girl, we're going to go back to the original girl.
Okay.
The one who these two people are serving time in prison for.
Right.
Right? And so they're like...
They already got the killers allegedly.
Right. So the police are like, you said you killed this girl, but we have them in jail already. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I bet you didn't find her purse in her Walkman, though.
Oh, shit. So he kept them?
Well, they said, no, we never found any of that stuff. And the cop says, so if I get you out of jail and we go for a little ride, can you take me to where you dumped that stuff?
Yeah.
And so one of the things the police already knew is how addicted she was to her Walkman, or I don't know if addicted is the right word, but like she used her Walkman constantly listening to Madonna. Right. So they knew about the Walkman, but they didn't find it. They didn't find her purse. They didn't have her identification, a lot of stuff like that.
True.
So he drives them out. This is years later.
Right.
They said her driver's license looked like he had just put it there. Like it was like perfect condition. Everything was like in perfect condition. And so they were like, this guy fucking did it. Like how nobody knew where this stuff was. He knew exactly where it was. He drove us here. This is all of the stuff. He killed her. The other people get out of jail. He goes into jail. Right. And so he's real open about telling everybody what he knows. And so Claudia, quote unquote, is just this girl that he murdered that he doesn't remember much about. They got her DNA, and through ancestry or whatever, were able to trace her back to a man who lived here in the valley in Cameron County. Okay.
Like descendant from that.
Right. Like her dad.
Like her dad. Okay.
But he lived in a lot of places, and he's been passed away for a long time. So this is where I kind of am coming up with a lot of questions, because it seems like with you and I, if you knew who my dad was, you got 3 chances to get me. Right?
Rebecca ain't one.
Right. Rachel's not one, and then everybody's going to go, it's that dude. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so let's say you have 20 kids.
Yeah.
It's still not that much.
Right.
Like you can't interview 20 people. Like who has the most kids that you've ever met?
I'll go as far as 8 kids for a dad.
Yeah.
I mean, but baby dad is here in the valley. I mean,
8's still a lot.
Yeah.
Like those guys are usually lucky to have been laid 8 times.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
like those of us that play the game know how to play the game and we don't get caught. Let's say that.
Allegedly.
Right. I don't have any kids that I know of. So, but anyway, the most kids I've ever heard of is 12. Let's say that. Like that's an outrageous amount of kids to have.
I think 8 is the most I've heard.
But then you can't interview 12 people. It seems like if we knew who the dad was, we should be able to find
the kids. Yeah.
Right. Except one of the possibilities is if it was like a hit it and quit it kind of thing and the girls never knew who the dad was.
But still, it would be on the records. Wouldn't it? Yes. Like on the birth certificate and stuff. Oh, but we don't know who she is. But like...
There's a few ways. There's a few ways that it could happen. Because it's...
But they haven't specified like if it was an uncle or like if it was actually her dad or something.
I think it's her dad.
That's what you think.
I think, well...
That's what they said.
I think that's what they said. Let me pull up the article. So, yeah. So Claudia's father is believed to have been from Cameron County, but he is deceased. And so this person, Claudia, and they don't think that's her real name. That's what he calls her. Was between 25 and 35, 5'6", with shaggy, wild, dyed blonde hair.
Or brown.
Could have been brown. But that's like everybody down here.
Yeah,
5'6".
Blonde hair, yeah.
5'6", dyed blonde.
Fair complexion.
Yeah. Fair complexion, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff, right? And so all of his letters and everything was signed with a happy face.
Right.
And so this is not to be confused with the smiley face killers.
Oh, that's true. Isn't that like a... Well, I don't know.
So it's a theory about an organization.
It's a theory, guys.
But we're gonna cover that one later.
Yeah.
But anyway, hopefully we can at least figure out who this one person is. You know, he's serving.
Hopefully we find information about her.
Yeah.
Not whereabouts, but like.
Right. You know, we know where she's at. But you know.
But where she comes from.
Right, and I mean, everybody.
If they were looking for her at some point.
Everybody has family. Everybody has friends. You know, so I'm sure people would like to get answers to this, and you know, maybe. I mean, he's already serving life in prison. Maybe tack on another life sentence. You know, so like justice to be served for this woman and her family.
For allegedly named Claudia.
Right. And so the fact that...
But that's a weird thing. He doesn't have anything that she owned. But he kept the ID and the Walkman.
So he didn't keep the Walkman. He dumped it somewhere else. Oh. And so it just so happened to look like it was...
Yeah.
You know, so... But hopefully, like I said, the reason we're talking about this is because this Claudia person, in quotations, has connections to the valley, whether she lived here or not. Because her dad could have been from the valley and then she was born somewhere else.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can find the answers to these questions. Yeah. So that is the latest.
Look into the story, guys. Look at her picture. I don't know.
Yeah, so we're going to put her picture on our Facebook, and we got it from krgv.com. That's where I got
our legit news.
Where I got most of my information. Well, that and Wikipedia and YouTube. But anyway.
Yeah, and TikTok.
Oh, so speaking of TikTok, just a little extra.
Yeah.
Jesperson had 3 kids. And one of them has a TikTok, and it's called, what is it called? The Daughter of a Serial Killer or something like that.
Ah, jeez.
And so he writes her these letters, and she reads them on her TikTok, and he is crazy.
And she's just doing it
for
the fun, for the shits and giggles.
So the family, the kids, he had 3 kids, have always said that he's like this creepy guy.
For sure.
And so they found a litter of kittens one time, and he tied them up and beat them to death in front of the kids. And so he's just this weird guy. And so the kids,
litter of kittens.
Yeah. So the kids don't love him or have that kind of affection. So
or compassion towards. Okay.
Yeah. So when the daughter gets information, she just spills all the tea.
Well, that's another story.
Yeah. So, well, maybe we'll send her a friend request on our TikTok.
Have her on the podcast.
Yeah. Hey, we did your dad's story on our podcast. Want to collaborate?
Bring us a letter you haven't read.
Yeah. We're not above that.
No.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thank
We'll see you next week.
Bye.